They love in a way that defies glitter and spectacle. No fireworks, no empty fairy tales, just constellations of meaning stitched quietly into your days. They'll remember the offhand detail you mentioned once and weave it into a gift that feels like a secret door opening inside you. They'll champion your dreams with the same ferocity they use to defend their own. But if you belittle their ideas, push against the core of who they are, or try to shrink their sky, you'll lose access to that depth. When an Aquarius detaches, it isn't a slammed door. It's a vanishing horizon. They're simply gone, and the map you had stops working. That is why their presence is so rare and so precious. If an Aquarius remains in your life, it isn't duty, convenience, or habit. It's because their soul recognized yours and chose it. Something in you sparked their inner fire. Honor that connection, and you'll experience one of the most transformative bonds the zodiac can offer. But remember, you don't tame an Aquarius. You don't press them into a mold or cage them in expectations. You walk beside them, never in front to lead, never behind to follow, because partnership to them is a horizon you discover together. If this truth resonates, pause here and breathe it in. The bond you're sensing asks for presence, not possession. If you're feeling called to understand these energies more deeply, subscribe to Signs and Secrets so you never miss a message that brings clarity to the way you love, heal, and grow. It helps you stay aligned with the rhythms of the sky and the lessons your heart has been quietly asking for. Before you speak a sentence that might bruise their spirit or dull their brilliance, ask yourself, am I seeing them clearly, or am I reacting from a need to control? Let go of the urge to define them. Witness them instead, both in the storm and in the silence, in the dazzling idea and in the practical plan. What can look like contradiction is often the very essence of a mind that is always evolving, always expanding, always searching for a kinder future than the one we've inherited. Aquarius doesn't parade feelings in public, but that doesn't mean they feel less. They simply believe love should be expressed with depth, not theatrics. Look for the subtleties, the quality of their listening, the small pivots they make to accommodate your world, the way they adapt without demanding applause. Their affection lives in thoughtful details, in the architecture of care. You might have noticed how easy it is to misread them, and how much beauty appears when you look beyond first impressions. If you've ever felt misunderstood for the way your heart moves, tell us your story. Or if you'd rather keep it simple, share your date of birth and zodiac sign in the comments so we can witness the constellations gathering here. Your presence matters. Now, if you want to truly connect with an Aquarius, there are boundaries that should never be crossed. Often they arrive disguised as casual remarks or jokes that shouldn't be a big deal. But to Aquarius, those small comments can weigh like verdicts. When judgment enters the room, their walls are up in an instant. Number 1, travel isn't my thing. You might think you're just stating a preference. To Aquarius, it can sound like you're closing the door on discovery itself of people, cultures, and ideas. They are explorers of the outer world and the inner terrain. Reject the spirit of exploration, and you're quietly rejecting a central pillar of their life. Number 2, let me show you the right way to do that. Micromanaging. Pointing out tiny errors, rearranging their rhythms, or fixing what was never broken signals that your comfort matters more than their freedom. Aquarius needs oxygen in the form of choice. Try to script them, and you won't need to push them away. They'll drift themselves. Number 3, don't be rude. Directness without malice is not cruelty, it's integrity. Aquarius trims the excess from their words, not to harm, but to honor time and truth. Label their candor as meanness, and you punish honesty itself. They will speak less, not because they agree, but because the room no longer feels safe. Number 4. How do you even know that? Implying they're pretending to be informed. Curiosity is welcome. Suspicion is not. Aquarius learns from books, experience, patterns, failures, late-night questions, and conversations with unlikely teachers. If you doubt their mind, you're doubting their essence. Ask them to teach you instead. The exchange will enrich you both. Number 5, that's unrealistic. Mocking or minimizing their idea. Aquarius dreams ahead of the common timeline. What sounds far-fetched today often lands as tomorrow's solution. When you make light of the visions they've nurtured, you don't just bruise pride, you wound trust. Engage the idea, ask about the steps. You may witness a blueprint unfold. Number 6, you're cold. They process emotion logically and privately. That is not absence, it is stewardship. Their stillness is the calm in which feeling clarifies. If you equate volume with sincerity, you'll miss the quiet shifts they make on your behalf, the text sent later. The habit changed without announcement, the door they quietly held open for your healing. Number 7, why can't you just be normal? Translation, conform for my comfort. Aquarius won't amputate parts of their spirit to fit into a smaller room. Their difference is not defiance for sport, it's fidelity to an inner compass. Celebrate the unique pattern of their mind, and you won't need normal. You'll have wonder. Number 8. You care more about strangers than you do about me. Aquarius holds a wide circle of concern. Their empathy is scaled for communities and systems, not just one-to-one. This doesn't mean you rank low. It means their heart knows that private love and public compassion are not competitors. Accusing them of neglect when they advocate for others confuses breadth with betrayal. Number 9. You're so detached. Just feel something. They do feel, sometimes more than is comfortable, but they prefer to metabolize emotion into clarity, not chaos. Demand visible proof on your timeline, and you may push them into silence. Sit with them in the quiet instead. Ask gentle questions. They will invite you into the engine room, where peace is built. Number 10. You're inconsistent. You change your mind too much. Evolving opinions aren't contradictions. They're evidence of learning. Aquarius updates their views when new information arrives. That is not flakiness. It's intellectual hygiene. If you need certainty, they can offer process, how they think, what they're weighing, and where the questions still live. Number 11. You always think you're right. They care less about being right than about finding what's true. Challenge their ideas, not their integrity. When you make space for a rigorous, respectful debate, they light up. When you turn it into a game of humiliation, they leave. The mind you admired will go quiet around you. Number 12. You don't need alone time. You're with me. Solitude is not a rejection of you. It's a ritual that keeps them whole. It is incubation, not isolation. In the quiet, their wildest thoughts take shape and future realities are born. Give them that pocket of sky, and they return with gifts, solutions, tenderness, renewed presence. If this journey through the Aquarian psyche has opened a door for you, tell us what you found on the other side. Did you recognize someone you love or yourself in these mirrors? Share your date of birth and zodiac sign, so we can feel the constellation of stories forming beneath this video. Your experience threads us together in ways the algorithm never could. Right about now, if you're feeling seen or lovingly challenged, tap like. Not for numbers, but for the ripple. Every like helps this message reach someone who needs it. And if you want a steadier stream of guidance and meaning in your feed, subscribe to Signs and Secrets so the next alignment arrives right on time for you. Aquarius brings more than presence. They bring movement, They awaken things you buried under routine and caution. They're not interested in walking the already paved road. They'd rather carve a new path, even if it means walking alone for a while. That solitude is not punishment, it's preparation. When they re-emerge, they carry maps for places the rest of us haven't visited yet. It's tempting to confuse their clarity for indifference, or their innovation for rebellion. But look closer. Their futurism is braided with compassion. They are less against the old than they are for the better. If you stand beside them with curiosity, you'll see the architecture of a kinder tomorrow take shape in real time. Support signs and secrets become a channel. Member for exclusive videos and early access. You may not always agree with where their ideas land, but notice how much hard work went into the landing. Aquarius is a seeker. They read widely, listen deeply, gather patterns and test assumptions against lived reality. So when you say, "How could you possibly know that?" you're not asking for sources. You're announcing disbelief. Trade disbelief for dialogue and you'll both grow. When Aquarius trusts you, a different door opens, one that leads straight into the engine of their imagination. You'll see the scaffolding behind their visions, the research, the late-night notebooks, the half-built prototypes, the failures that taught them which bridge holds weight. You'll see that their confidence isn't arrogance. It's earned accuracy in a field they've been plowing alone for a long time. If you've reached this point, and something in you is calmer, clearer, or more alive, that isn't an accident. This is the effect of being near a mind that treats truth like a devotion. If this landing place feels right, press like gently now, so this understanding can travel beyond your screen to a soul who needs it. Aquarius love is slow cooked in spaciousness. They won't flood you with constant contact or scripted romance. Instead, they create pathways for you to become more yourself. They care about a relationship's future self as much as its present comfort. If they invite you to grow, it's not a critique. It's confidence in what you could be together. And yes, there will be moments when their detachment stings. You'll want a more visible proof of care, a louder performance of devotion. Here's the secret. The proof you're asking for arrives, just not in the wrapping you expect. It arrives as an article they saved for you, as a boundary they honored so you could rest, as a conversation they initiated because your silence felt heavier than usual. Look for love in the thoughtful architecture, not only in the fireworks. Now let's return to those never say lines, not as commandments, but as invitations to higher care. If you've said one of them, repair is possible. Name the impact, not your intention. Try. When I said that, I imagine it made your world feel small. I'm sorry. Can we try again? Uranian hearts respond to evolved language. They respect people who evolve in real time. There is also a crucial practice here for those who love Aquarius. Stop translating difference as danger. When they pivot, it's often because a better idea arrived. When they quiet, it's to listen for truth. When they insist on alone time, it's to return with gifts. Their rhythms are designed for meaning, not performance. Some of you watching are Aquarians who have been mislabeled as cold, chaotic, or contrarian, when all you've been doing is protecting a sacred interior and telling the truth before it's popular. If that's you, anchor here for a moment. In the comments, write your date of birth and zodiac sign as an act of self-recognition. Let others see that your way of caring exists, and it is generous. If you found resonance in these words, subscribe to Signs and Secrets. This is where astrology meets authenticity, where you're invited not to fit a stereotype, but to refine your language for love. We study the patterns not to trap you in them, but to free you through them. There's a reason Aquarius is often ahead of the cultural curve. They don't drag the future toward them. They walk toward it. That walk requires stamina, solitude, and a tolerance for being misunderstood in the meantime. If you love an Aquarius, you can be a shelter for that journey by refusing the easy labels and offering the exacting questions that make them better. Here is a final distillation of what we've learned, not as a lecture, but as an instrument you can carry. Honor their freedom and their process. Trade suspicion for curiosity. Treat their ideas like seedlings that need light and honest feedback. Remember that silence is often a workspace, not a weapon, and meet their directness with the same integrity you hope to receive. If this message helped you see someone in a truer light, or helped you forgive yourself for needing a different tempo, tell us. Share one line in the comments about what cleared for you today, and leave your date of birth and zodiac sign so we can feel the sky mapping itself through this community. Midway through, you may have felt a nudge to support this work. If so, like this video now, it helps us reach the people who are searching for a language that dignifies how they love. And if you want consistent nourishment in your feed, subscribe to Signs and Secrets so these teachings don't pass you by while you're busy surviving the day. Aquarius doesn't simply live. They expand life around them. They stretch what's possible for themselves and for everyone nearby. If you're standing next to an Aquarius, you'll feel it. The way stagnant rooms start to move again, the way tired conversations refill with oxygen, the way fear starts losing its argument. That is not coldness. That is courage. This is your invitation to walk beside them, not to steer or to follow, but to belong to the same horizon. If you can honor that distance and that closeness, both, then you'll witness a love that doesn't just keep you comfortable. It keeps you becoming. We're almost at the end. If any part of this brought you clarity, press like so the signal goes farther than the algorithm expects. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to Signs and Secrets for more guidance crafted to meet you exactly where you are. Your presence tells us to keep going. Your voice turns this channel into a circle. Before you go, speak to us. Tell us the moment you felt most misunderstood and what changed it. Or simply write your date of birth and zodiac sign so we can witness the sky you were born under and the path you're carving now. Your story is part of this library of living wisdom. Finally, carry this with you. Tenderness is not the enemy of truth, and freedom is not the enemy of commitment. Aquarius holds both because love is big enough to ask for both. If you can hold them too, the world you build together will be wider than fear and steadier than habit. If you want to hear everything the universe has to say to you, watch these other videos on our channel.